Hello everyone, welcome back to more Octopath Traveler. We haven't always fought the final bosses, I've noticed.
I will cut you down!
Here goes nothing.
Well, if there's skeletons...
Ignis Ardea.
Oh. The skeletons were not weak to fire.
I'll do my best.
What about shadow or wind?
Fierce our foes.
Shadow. Okay.
I'll not be defeated.
Knives?
The battle is truly joined.
Spears? Yes.
Coming.
Arrows? No.
Here we go.
Ice?
Cool off.
No. Lightning, probably, then. It's my backup suspicion.
Thou darest.
Yvonne of the Yukon!
Sorcery.
Ooh.
Well then,
More damage than I expected. Let's just drop a quick heal.
bring about a miracle of healing.
Oh no, silence! Ton it! You... ne'er-do-wells! Oh well, this will deal with them.
Here we go. Let's get down to work. Pick your poison.
Yeah, he was the second boss. He was all like, I'm gonna become a magical goo dude.
Prepare yourself. Malefic star. Fierce our foes.
But then we killed him.
Here goes nothing.
Victory shall be mine. Out of my way!
I'll do my best. Ha! There.
Fixing has been augmented with a new weakness.
Well then.
Here we go.
Question is it ice?
Cool off.
It was not ice magic.
All right. Sacred light.
My turn. Ha!
No!
There we are. That sword, much better damage.
Holding back nothing. Lux Conjurer. Letting my arrow fly and blah! Blah!
Victory!
All right.
Coming. I'll do. Here I go! Malefic star. Fierce our foes.
The battle is... My blade is on. Windhailed fights with us!
Oh. Haha! Death by poison. Alright, well.
With each battle, I grow stronger.
That was a shorter fight than I expected it to be. But that's okay. We're nearing the end of Octopath Traveler, everybody. The Diary of Headmaster Yvonne of the Royal Academy. It was 15 years ago when I first learned of that tome. The headmaster's chair was but a dream to me in those days, when my prize student Lucia brought a young moon to me. The woman told me that I was best suited to the position of headmaster. That there was no knowledge, no position that should be off limits to a man of my ability. And so she taught me many things, one being the existence of ancient tomes containing the long-forgotten secrets of Lord. There are several volumes of forbidden writings in Atlas Dam's great libraries, and no eyes but the headmasters are allowed to look upon them. The tome in question is one of those. It is the last extant track of the legendary sage known as Saloman, whose name lives on in history through the land of his birth, the kingdom of Bernstein. As long as it's been forgotten. Long has it been said that he who can decipher its true meaning will obtain power over even life and death. Though the current headmaster is not worthy of this knowledge. What he lacks in intellect only pales to what he lacks in character. I cannot depend on him. I would depend on you. She wished to decipher the secrets of the tome and share its knowledge with the worthy alone. Thus a great scholar was needed, one who would be able to fully understand the arcane truths within the tome. The doddering fool who now serves as headmaster could never have done such a thing. But a genius such as you, Yvonne, surely you of all scholars in the realm are up to the task. Yes, that was how she persuaded me. It was true that I bore little resemblance to the former headmaster, who was interested in nothing but his studies, and whose only praiseworthy trait was tenacity in that single-minded pursuit. But I was different. I knew that knowledge was worth its weight in gold, and more critically, my intellect far outstripped his. How could the idiots around me fail to realize this? The woman told me that the then headmaster, holding a lofty office he had done so little to deserve, was tantamount to sin, and I agreed. When she asked me if I could remove him, I assured her that it would be the simplest of tasks, and so I had him assassinated just as she wished, leaving not a trace of evidence behind to incriminate myself. Shortly after, I ascended to the headmaster's seat in his place. I encountered the strange woman only once more after that day. When I reported to her that I had murdered the former headmaster, she flashed a chilling smile and simply replied, "So you did." And then she walked away, never again to appear before me. Perhaps maybe that man was all she wanted of me after all. I thought. It was no matter. The tome was in my grasp, and I immediately set to myself to uncover its secrets. All the rumors I had heard were true. It was the work of a staggering genius. With Lucia as my assistant, I was able to obtain other rare and ancient texts from that woman, even if I never saw her again. Yes, everything was going just as I had planned, and power beyond the imagination was finally within my reach. How did it all come to this? Damn that accursed Lucia. Damn that heartless, conniving witch. How did I not see? She meant to use me from the very start. I was the one who unlocked the secrets. I who constructed the basic theories of how to effectively control life and death. As soon as I had done that, she had no need for me. That was why she gave me a flawed blood crystal that led Cyrus right to me, so that she could dispose of me without dirtying her own hands. Despicable, loathsome, hateful woman. Death has not cooled my fury, and only fueled it to greater heights. Curse you. Curse you and that unholy witch you brought to my side. May the deceitful Lucia burn for eternity. May the foul witch LeBlanc be banished beyond the farthest reaches of hell. Ooh. LeBlanc? Like the quest said, the Dark God's daughter. And you read these and you start to think, is that accurate? And it might be. Presence number... It's a super kitty. The beast's fangs and claws.
My turn now.
Deadly poison. Alright, you know what? Let's drop the stars here. Test for 3 weaknesses. We get... you get, Venom Monster. Okay.
Victory shot.
Here we go.
Now then.
Venom Tooth Tigger.
Coming, if thou wilt.
What next?
What boss was the Venom Tooth Tiger from?
Bring it on. Cool off.
Can't remember.
The battle is...
Well then. There!
Letting my arrow.
Victory shall be mine.
Shucks. I got just what you need.
Clearly need
Here we
to
go.
knock this guy down a notch.
Let my arrow.
I think I know just the way to do it. There we go. Perfect!
I'll do my prepare yourself! Malefic Star! Here's our foes!
Now, my blade is unbending.
Oh, he's got reduced defense to physical. This is gonna go poorly for him.
Windhild fight with us.
45, 32, 40, between 45 and 50k damage.
Alrighty.
I mean, I'll take it.
Pick your poison.
Have at you.
Oh, this is almost
Here we go.
cruel. Almost.
Coming. Lux Conjurer.
Bring it on.
Victory out of my way.
I'll not be deterred! My turn now. Yeah.
I should probably heal.
Well then. Bring about a miracle of healing!
Can't remember which boss had the Venom Tooth, or which story path had the Venom Tooth
Victory
Tiger.
shall.
Here goes nothing.
We still have to do Tressa's, because we're at the boss number 7 here. Tressa and
Letting the hunt beginning.
Ulbrich storylines.
Miss its
Victory shall.
Here goes nothing.
This must, yeah, this has to be,
I'll do my best.
What's the big idea?
Letting my arrow fly and true.
Prepare yourself! Malefic Star!
let's just off this
Here's
beast.
our foes.
Alrighty.
Let's holding back nothing.
Goodbye.
I honor thee, my quarry.
I wonder which storyline this was then. Let's do a quick bit of healing. Let's eat some plums. I have Grimcross for part the first. Grave tidings have reached me as I was passing through Victor's Hollow in my travels. My beloved's condition worsened, and I knew my journey must be brought to a swift conclusion, lest I be too late in the end. I made up my mind to sail across the verdant deep. The final ingredient required was the pinion of an ogre eel, the most fearsome beast of the sky. They are said to make their home in the forest of Roubaix, beyond that vast emerald sea. When I arrived at the harbor, there was only one ship to be found. It was the grand one, so this must be Tressa then. No mistaking that, but the captain was none other than Leon Bastral. I recognized him at once, of course. Who could travel this land without hearing a tale or ten of that dread pirate captain, the very mention whose name would set even the bravest sailor's heart pounding and his palms sweating? Yet I found the man himself to be quite different from the one spoken of in legend. Captain Leon Bastral stood at the very helm of a merchant trader, which was preparing to hoist sail at the very moment I came upon it. I told him my haste and implored that he let me aboard. I'm afraid I don't let just anyone board my ship, he told me. and I felt as though I was being put to some kind of test. It was clear this was a man who not easily placed his trust in others. My coin purse, as impoverished as my hopes, I had only one thing of value I could offer: my journal. Ah, okay. So now this kind of touches into the Obsidians. Why do they want the journal? Because this is Graham Crossford's journal that Tressa found amongst the supplies of Elena Bastral. Crossford, heir to that legacy of blood, connecting him to the ones who helped seal Goldera away. The man who became a Red Eye and caused destruction across the land. And of course, they were tied in. The Obsidians were being used to help perpetuate, or by LeBlanc to help get access to this power. Okay, it is tying together in ways I didn't expect. Well done, game. I would have still liked to have seen more during the game, but this is actually I'm seeing how the threads all tie in. This is the most valuable of my possessions. Within it, you will find a record of every region of this vast continent. Town I visit, and every path I've tread. Such knowledge is worth the trouble of having one more body aboard your ship for this voyage. After all, what need have I of such a log then? My journey was nearly over. All that remained was to obtain the final ingredient to hasten home to my beloved's side. Ah! Remember, she was so upset because she didn't realize that this logbook had been given up before Graham Crossbell met LeBlanc and started to get involved in the dark stuff. Alright. You'd have me believe the leaves of that old book are more valuable than the leaves of my coffers? Must be quite the journey. Mind hearing about it as you swab my decks? As the ship tossed above the stormy sea, my thoughts drifted ahead of the winds to where my wife awaited me. I see her face in my mind so clearly that it felt as though I was only minutes ago we were parted, not countless moons. I prayed the flame would guide me back to her while the gentle smile still graced her lips. Almost finished at last, my love. Pray wait for me just a little longer. I know not what became of my journal since I parted ways with Captain Leon, but looking back, I am relieved that it left my hands when it did. It was better that my final entry ended with some traces of hope than the bitter pain I would eventually find at journey's end. Okay, it makes... Yeah, okay. Which means this will be Ulbrich's.
Better roll up the sleeves. Here we go.
Coming.
I'll not be defeated.
That's the big idea.
Guild Learner.
Now then.
I'll not be defeated. Malefic star, pierce our foe.
Now then.
What next?
I'll not be defeated.
Sadly, he did weaken all of
Bring
my
it on.
physical attack.
Cool off.
Not my magical attack, though. Just my physical.
I'll not be defeated.
Letting my arrow fly and true. To nitrous canal.
There we are. Got his final weakness. Then he shifts his weight.
Here goes nothing. The miracle of health.
So can I break him?
I'll do my best. Malefic star, pierce our foes.
Yeah, that's
Coming,
2.
if thou darest.
Have at you.
I'll not be defeated. Oh, sacred light.
There we are. And then we get the penalty removed next turn.
The battle is truly joined.
Now he's broken. And now we unleash.
Coming. Lux Conjuria.
Here I go! Malefic star, pierce our foes.
Alrighty. Pick your poison.
Letting the hunt begin. What next?
All right.
Oh, now his defense is lowered.
Which
means-
Wind-hailed fight with us.
Yes. Oh, the biggest damages. Oh. It's almost cruel in its wonderfulness. He's already in the red.
Coming.
What's the big idea?
What next?
I'll not be defeated.
Have at you.
Shucks. I got just what you need.
And then I'll kill him this turn.
What next? Coming. Lux Conjurier.
The my blade is on. Wind-hailed fight with us.
Well, maybe not. Thought I'd do. Oh, well. Yes, it did.
With each battle, I grow stronger.
Alright. Let's read the final one. Records of Lord Werner of Riverford. Hornburg will fall. I still remember her smile as she said the words. It was a score of years ago now, mayhap more. A simple sellsword I was then, when she came to me with a sackful of leaves and dark promise in her eyes. She knew as well as I did that I had far greater aspirations than selling my sword for coin. But coin would have to be a start. And what a start she offered me. Not only the leaves to free me from another man's employ, but as much as I asked for to invest in my plot and establish the connections I would need. The life I'd always dreamed of was finally in my grasp. I could use her. I could use her to get all that I ever wanted, or so I thought. So I took the girl up on her offer and began my plot to bring down an entire kingdom. I would need men if I were to accomplish anything, so I created my own sellsword company, the Black Brotherhood I called them. I spent 3 years doing nothing but gathering information on Hornburg, and then, using what I learned, I began to systematically remove any obstacles that might stand in my path. I used the girl's connections to make my company of sellswords very much in demand in Hornburg. I took the worst of the lot, those with no scruples and nowhere else to go, made them out to be bandits and thieves. I sent these villains to attacking the borders of Hornburg, and then my black brother returned them back. It was quite the performance. Other armies didn't stand a chance at beating us to the site of each battle. The skirmishes all took place far from the heart of Hornburg. We knew ahead of time exactly where they would happen. Since the foes we faced in those battles were in fact our own men, it was an easy feat to give the impression, or the appearance, of a crushing defeat. Through this farce, the Black Brotherhood won the hearts of the people living in those borderlands. Ingraining myself with the families of these borderlands, I used their introductions to buy trust among many powerful houses of Hornburg. The tales of the Black Brotherhood had spread throughout the realm by then, and I used that woman's money freely to strengthen my ties to powerful men within Hornburg and without. Still, King Alfred was well beloved by his people, and his bannermen. It would be no small feat to win their hearts away from him, in which case things would become much easier if he was simply not in the picture. Hornburg would not last long without the people's love for their liege binding them together, and so my eyes landed upon Erhard, who held a bitter hatred for the kings within him. I had him appointed as a member of the king's own guard, that he could be in the perfect position to do the deed. All that remained to be done was to give Erhard the chance that he was all too good to seize. Mixing lies and truths, I lit a fire among the strong young warrior I had befriended. I could spout any lie, and it would not have mattered. Humans care little for facts. They believe what they want to believe. In the end, it took me just 12 short years to bring Hornburg to ruin. After the kingdom fell, I decided the time had come to settle my accounts with that woman. I disbanded my company, having no more need for sellswords, and used the riches I had accumulated to buy myself the lands and status that would see me through my remaining days. To tell the honest truth, this was not easy. Could have gained even more had I remained at that woman's side. she could provide me with wealth and power beyond any human's wildest dreams. But to pursue this any further would be madness. Perhaps I was already mad to serve so long at her beck and call to bring down a kingdom. She was beautiful. There can be no doubt about that. But did I desire her, even for a moment? No. For then that attractive trapping was evil, pure evil, intent on bringing humanity to ruin. If a man dared touch any part of it, his own flesh would rot and fall away. She was a lethal poison. She was a witch. And so I cut myself off from her entirely and did not look back. Funny though, is it not? In the end, I could not escape her. She brought about my ruin as surely as if I had indulged in her poisonous touch. For in the end, just as I felled Hornburg, it was Hornburg's last knight who laid me low. Alright, so we have done all the storylines. Very cool. Oh. Don't make me fight this right away, please. Okay, it's just a gate opening. Whew. Whew. We're going to take a break here. I'm going to heal up. And then we're going to go through this final gate, everybody. See you soon.